Now for Game 9 from the Anand Gelfand World Championship match in 2012, a game with a lot of interesting strategic content to it, in particular around how black might handle the hanging pawn structure, which frequently arises in the Nimzo Indian. So black played the Nimzo Indian. We get the Karpov variation, and Gelfand went for a setup with bishop g5, queen e2, and rook a c1. So rook c8 was played, bishop d3, bishop takes c3, and unsurprisingly, Gelfand tries to keep more pieces on the board by b takes c3 rather than rook takes c3, which would ease black's defense somewhat. So b takes c3 was played, queen c7, c4, and here Anand made an interesting but a very committal decision. He played bishop takes f3. Now Posny, in his notes to the game, makes a very instructive comment, which is that this is an acceptable continuation, but only when black can follow immediately with e5. Otherwise, he's better off holding off on this move. And so rook e8 has been played in a number of games in this position. In particular, Karpov himself has played it with black. And after, for instance, rook fe1, h6, bishop d2, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, e5. He managed to equalize against Portish. That was from a game in 1978. I'm not sure here if Anand mixed up his move order or what precisely happened, but after bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, rook fe8, Gelfand actually has a very strong move in rook fd1. The problem in this position with e5, as Posny notes, is that if black plays e5, then bishop f5 is extremely unpleasant because there's pressure on this knight, and there's also this pin. So white's threatening to take on f6, and if black tries to get out of it with rook ce8, then c5 is very, very strong. Just taking advantage of the fact that the rook's moved away, and after pawn takes d4, c6, knight e5, queen f4. So bishop takes f6 is still a threat. Knight h5 and queen takes d4. Black is on the brink of defeat. Two bishops against two knights is nearly a decisive advantage in a completely open position such as this, especially when white has gotten his pawn so far up the board to c6. That's an extremely strong pass pawn. So instead of that, Anand played rook fe8, but now rook fd1. Is a stronger continuation than rook fe1. And Anand played h6, bishop h4, queen d6. And this is the critical position, which I know was discussed a lot in the chess press around the time of the game. I think I was also following this game live, so I saw some of the comments online in relation to it. What Gelfand did was play c5, and what everyone, I suppose, with an analysis engine will tell you is that he shouldn't have played c5. For instance, Posny recommends this a3 move, which is kind of quite cheeky, but just takes control of the b4 square. Clearly queen takes a3 is impossible because of bishop h7 check, and ultimately white is just trying to gradually build the pressure with these two bishops against two knights, and a very difficult position for black. So Posny gives a sample variation: queen e7, rook e1, queen d6, rook d1. If black simply waits, then bishop f1, king g8, h3. I mean, overall, it seems to be very difficult, even with modern engines, to break through here with white. But I think the key to understanding the position is that whenever the position opens, and however it opens, whether it's white playing d5, whether it's black playing e5, the two bishops are going to really come into their own in the new open position which arises, and also the white rooks are going to be extremely strong on the central files. It's very difficult for black to put a rook on d8, for instance, because then he's walking into a pin of this knight. So this would have been certainly an unpleasant continuation for Anand to face. Instead, Gelfand went c5, which, I mean, I think is basically an inevitable move in a World Championship match, because once you see that after takes, black has nothing better than rook takes, and we get this position. Obviously, black can never win this position and is only playing for a draw, and ultimately Anand managed to achieve that without a huge amount of difficulty. You could see the rest of the game for yourself in the database, but Anand is a player who's constructed a huge number of fortresses over the course of his career and didn't seem to have too much difficulty holding this one. But I think clearly there was something which went wrong with Anand's preparation, maybe just a mixed up move order, but it gave an interesting chance to look at the nature of this position where white has two bishops against two knights in a hanging pawn structure. If black isn't able to play e5, then he's just suffering in a passive position. And had Gelfand played more quietly at move 19, it seems that would have been the better option for him.